I'd like to suggest that meditation is ultimately a practice of self-love. Yes. And why do I think that? Well, because love is, or for me anyway, is what we experience in the absence of separation. In the unconditionalness that everything is welcome just the way it is. Nothing needs to change. There are no borders. There is no separation, basically. It's all just one flow. And maybe you've heard this before, and it's just been like a beautiful phrases of, yeah, that's wonderful. But I like to point at the practicalities of it. Yes, it's poetic and beautiful, that unconditional love, but there's like a real wisdom in it, an actual pointer. Yes. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Josephine, and you are warmly welcome to join in and stay as long as you like. And if you're a regular viewer, then I am glad to have you back. Self-love. And the reason I want to bring this up is because when we talk about self-love, some of us easily just shut off because we think it instantly means these positive affirmations, telling ourselves that we are lovely, that we convincing ourselves that we're lovable. And I'm not discarding those teachings. If they work, if they give more love to your life, then wonderful. But what sometimes happens, and maybe what people react against, is that you have this wound of thinking that you're not lovable, or that what you essentially are isn't valuable. And then you put a belief on top of that. And whenever your stability or your self-love is grounded on a belief, it becomes fragile. Because it's a thin veneer over this pain or deeper conviction. So once that is challenged, if you, for instance, get reflected that someone treats you unkind, or that you see a reflection of yourself in the mirror that you don't like, this little thin veneer gets a crack in it, and the pain underneath comes through. So there's a risk that it is not abiding self-love. There is fear that this is going to crack, and then the unlovableness or the pain is going to resurface. And I would suggest that meditation is not putting a lid, a veneer of belief on top of it. It is rather relaxing back in the prior to this belief of being unlovable, where to the place where there are no beliefs anymore. And not in the fact that they don't exist, but that vastness is bigger than any belief. It is our inner spaciousness. I had an itch on my nose. So relaxing back into this inner spaciousness that is so much bigger than any belief we can hold, and that makes this self-love rooted in experience. Whatever thoughts comes up about myself, it cannot touch this vastness, this spaciousness, because it is bigger than thoughts. It's bigger than my thoughts, and it's bigger than other people's thoughts. And in meditation, the practice is, or if it's even a practice, this is how I experience meditation at the moment. And for me, meditation has been a constant unfoldment over the last decade that I've been meditating. But what is emerging more and more is this insight that meditation is a journey of curiosity, of observing, of not changing anything, just noticing whatever is there, even the stillness, even the peace, even the absence of things to be curious about. And how do I make that into a self-love practice? This is not to be believed. This is to be experienced. When we go so far back that we no longer hold any, we don't take sides in our inner lives. If there is a thought coming up that says that, oh, I'm doing this wrong, I will never be good at meditating. And then there's another thought coming up, oh, but you're doing your best, keep going, you're lovely. If I don't identify with neither of them, I just see them as movement in my inner world. There's a relaxation in that, because I don't participate in the battle between my thoughts. I don't create separation. I don't position myself anywhere. I position myself everywhere. I'm both the observer and I am inherently the thing in meditation that comes up. But initially, I can just position myself as the observer. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a valid step to take. And then once we actually get to that place that is unconditional, in the sense that it has no opinions, everything that comes up is welcome, not by forcing welcomeness, but rather to never even engage with resistance. When something says, I don't like that, you can observe that entity. It is not you who says, I don't like this. That is a thought or perhaps a contraction in the body. Usually they're combined, and that is observable. So the space that you fall back into when you haven't picked a side in your inner world, that's the absence of separation. That is the felt sensation of love. That is you loving yourself in the moment. Not by doing love, but by relaxing so far back that love emerges. You are love, one could probably even say. And this might not be experienced the first times you meditate. I mean, it's possible. I don't think anything is stopping anyone from going there the first time they practice meditation, or if it's even a practice. But it can also take quite some time, because the mind is cunning, or if we're used to identify with thoughts, it can take a lot of observation or presence to realize that, oh, I took sides again. Oh no, I thought I was my inner controller. I thought I was the one who had to sort out my thoughts. And then there's a criticism that might come up and say like, oh, you failed, you thought you were the... And then you can get stuck in that. And then there's a realization that, oh, I'm not that critic either. Relaxation occurs. Relaxation isn't forced in that practice. And when we practice that in meditation, it comes easier and easier in our everyday lives as well. Self-love becomes the way we move in our meditation, but also in our life. It no longer becomes a belief. It becomes a lived experience, basically. Notice how this lands for you. Have you had this experience yourself? Is it something in you that feels that this can't be true? Or are you already living from this space? And if there's something in you that says that's rebelling against what I'm saying, see if you can be curious about that. Maybe it's correct, but what if it's not? What if self-love is available to you all the time? Not by learning something new, but just by being the fullness that you are, just by not taking sides. Maybe self-love isn't available because you have unconsciously or without you noticing paired up with one of your thoughts, one of your cluster of thoughts. Mm. The practice of self-love. Isn't that the ultimate gift we would like to give to every single being in the world? The blessing of loving themselves. And imagine if this is it. What if everyone already has access to self-love? Because that's what they are. It's there to discover in every moment, all the time. Now, now, now. Always. And as usual, please do share in the comments. I love to read your reflections and your feedback and questions or whatever pops up. Okay. Take care, and I'll see you next time.